All right, so we're going to be doing a rhetorical analysis of Ed Sheeran's hit song, Thinking Out Loud. This is a great song. It's a really nice modern love song that's actually a love song, quite directly, and not just some indirect declaration of love through jealousy or anything like that. The title alone sets us up. We haven't even started the song yet, and we know it's called Thinking Out Loud. So what does that do for us? Well, it does a lot in terms of ethos, because it's essentially letting us know that the lyrics to this song, and really the song itself, is more than just a song, right? It's not a song. It's not a carefully crafted message. It's not an anthem. It's not so many of those other things that songs usually are. Instead, the idea here is these are the speaker's thoughts, right? Ethos kicks it up a notch because this speaks to the legitimacy of the words and the language. It also starts to suggest something about who the audience might be. If you're thinking out loud, who is your audience most likely going to be? Well, sometimes it's yourself if you're trying to work something out, maybe in your car while you're driving, or you're in your room, or you're rehearsing your ideas, or maybe you're going to make a phone call, or you're going to have a conversation, and so you think out loud. Or sometimes you think out loud in front of someone you trust because you don't need to filter your thoughts in front of them. I certainly wouldn't think out loud in front of my enemies. Now that I think of it, I probably wouldn't think out loud in front of most members of my family, and probably only a few of my friends. But here I am thinking out loud, right? Just a moment ago, and I'm thinking out loud in front of a microphone for a video that's being posted to YouTube. So maybe the audience is still a little bit ambiguous, but there's certainly a level of openness, of legitimacy, and of trust, right? So you can probably assume that I'm being honest about the things I'm saying there as I'm thinking out loud. And so we can assume that about Ed Sheeran. Okay, let's see what Sheeran's got to say.
When your legs don't work like they used to before, and I can't sweep you off of your feet.
Sheeran is addressing his audience, a you that is presumably his love interest, someone that he is in the habit of sweeping off of their feet. And it's already so powerful because he's voicing a very deep and introspective insecurity. He's wondering about their future. So again, more insight into their relationship, in particular his feelings about this person. It's someone that he is intending to be with for many, many years into old age, and he's worried. And that's a very human thing, to be worried, and whether or not it's deliberate, it's a powerful rhetorical device. When a speaker shows his or her insecurities about something, when he or she voices a worry or a fear or an anxiety, it can have incredibly powerful effects. In this case, because it's about love, it's endearing. We already trust Sheeran in a very powerful way. We trust that he is in love with this person, that he isn't doing anything weird, anything he shouldn't be, that he's wholly invested.
Will your mouth still remember the taste of my love? Will your eyes still smile from your cheeks?
All right, so we've got two rhetorical questions, and they're saddled back to back. He's focused on her features, and he uses a lot of sensory language here. We could spend all day, really, talking about these two lines. He asks if her mouth will remember the taste of his love. And so, we must wonder, do mouths remember? Is that something that mouths do? In this case, apparently so. What does love taste like? Is it like Katy Perry's cherry chapstick? Is it like Keith Urban's cool mint kiss? Is it like bacon cheeseburgers? If you don't know what synesthesia is yet, you're definitely going to be Googling it by the end of this video. Synesthesia, I believe it's spelled Synthesia. That sounds about right. Synesthesia is really interesting just because it's a crazy phenomenon, but it also plays a very powerful role in great writing. So synesthesia is a neurological phenomenon that essentially crosses the wires between multiple senses. So if you suffer from synesthesia, and this is a real thing, you might taste the color red, or you might hear the flavor of chocolate milk, and so on. So there's a little neurology that's supporting these love-struck claims of Sheeran's. And then he asks, will your eyes still smile from your cheeks? Again, the notion of eyes smiling. We can call that personification. We can dig into the sensory details, but for the sake of this rhetorical analysis, we'll focus on what it means for his message. So it's coming off as genuine, it's heartfelt, and it's well said. It's carefully crafted without really being premeditated. The speaker, Sheeran, in love. The audience, the person he loves. And the message, I think we can probably pin it down, but the next line makes it very explicit, very clear.
Darling, I will be loving you till we're 70.
And there it is. The message is that he loves her, and he will continue to love her into old age. He says 70, but he probably doesn't mean 70 literally, and 70 in a day he will stop loving her. He probably means a lot more than that. He calls her darling to enhance the intimacy of their relationship with this language, and it works. So far, it's a very solid I love you argument.
Baby, my heart could still fall as hard at 23.
So what does it mean that his heart could fall hard? It's a funky way to say it, but at this point, mouths are tasting love, and eyes are smiling from cheeks, and here hearts are falling. They're falling in love. And for the record, Ed Sheeran was indeed 23 years old when this song was released. He turned 24 last week. Happy birthday, but that's awesome. But it's likely that he is our speaker here, right? The singer is the speaker. That's really interesting. That's really cool.
And I'm thinking about how people fall in love in mysterious ways. Maybe just the touch of a hand.
So here there's a reference to thinking, which reinforces the authenticity of these ideas, the ethos associated with seeing someone's thoughts directly and unfiltered as if we're peering into his brain. And again, there's more sensory language, the role that the touch of a hand plays in the creation of love. And these sensory images, they're great for the love argument. Love is not a logical thing, not usually. And love is really, by definition, all about pathos. And these sensory details here, they sink their teeth into pathos completely every single time.
Or be I fall in love with you every single day. And I just wanna tell you I am.
Here, the speaker reflects on himself. He says basically that as far as he's concerned, he wants to experience the feeling of falling in love with this person, his audience, on a daily basis, to tell her about it and to celebrate it continuously.
So honey, now take me into your loving arms.
All right, so there's a call to action happening here. He calls her honey, so there's more pathos, more relationship building, because in truth, for all we know, he's known her for 10 minutes, right? This could be Romeo and Juliet style. Maybe he's known her for 10 years. We don't really know. But it almost doesn't matter. And the call to action is, take me into your loving arms. So speaker, Sheeran, audience, lover, message, I love you, purpose, right? We don't really know what he's trying to accomplish yet, but let's see. Let's see where this goes.
Kiss me under the light of 1,000 stars.
Okay, so maybe the purpose is to, number one, make that love known. Number two, glorify it, celebrate that love in some way. And number three, to make it physical. The call to action has already escalated. Now, Sheeran's after a kiss.
Place your head on my beating heart. I'm thinking out loud.
Okay, he echoes the title here. He's thinking out loud. He's being heartfelt. He's not just trying to sweep her off of her feet because that's one of his hobbies, but rather because he is completely enamored. It's legit. The transparency breeds credibility, and the pathos powers the love. No logos necessary here. That's what love songs are all about.
Maybe we found love right where we are.
Now, this is the recurring hook in the song. Maybe we found love right where we are. The purpose seems to be reinforcing the specialness of their relationship. Maybe they did get that lucky. Maybe it really is something so special. Maybe it truly is worth celebrating. Again, it bolsters the pathos, and it reinforces the depth of the love in the message that Sheeran is trying to send.
When my hair's all but gone and my memory fades, and the crowds don't remember my name, when my hands don't play the strings the same way.
Okay, I'm going to go ahead and say that this is the most powerful moment in the song. I love this. The speaker reflects, but instead of positioning the audience in the future, he is being introspective here. He's thinking about himself, not as the 20-year-old rock star that he is, but as an old man. His hair has fallen out, his memory is fading, perhaps he has a hard time remembering the lyrics to his songs, the rock shows he used to play are a thing of the past, the crowds don't remember his name. How many of Sheeran's fans can remember the names of pop stars from the 1960s? Probably not very many. And so now this has become his fate. And then he says, when my hands can't play the strings the same way, which is incredibly powerful because he is completely deconstructing himself, his image here. These are the things that make Ed Sheeran Ed Sheeran. These are the things that make Sheeran most powerful to us, to his fans, and to the millions of listeners of this song. It's his name, it's his voice, it's his crazy hair, it's his fingers on the strings. But in these 3 lines, those things are gone. It's a deep reflection of the human condition, of life, and of the inevitable deterioration that accompanies old age. It's not something we typically talk about, especially not on the radio, not in pop songs, not unless we're feeling philosophical or depressed. But Sheeran states it, because this is a love song, and because it's based on the transparency of his thoughts, unfiltered and pure, and because it allows him to place this deconstructed version of himself in front of his lover. So what's her reaction?
I know you will still love me the same.
Now, whether or not she does, that's almost besides the point. The point is that this is something that Sheeran knows for sure. That it's not his hair, voice, guitar, skills, and whatnot that are the foundation of their love. All those things aside, in old age, he knows, he doesn't think, he doesn't hope, he knows that she will still love him the same.
'Cause honey, your soul could never grow old, it's evergreen.
Okay, so Sheeran takes a step away from that deep stuff, which is a very good move on his part. It's very powerful stuff, and that little dose was enough to create a very strong emotional response. We react by saying, wow, that was heartfelt, or wow, that's so deep, and wow, what a thoughtful guy. But had he continued harping on those problems, the bad things that come with old age, this song would have probably taken a very depressing turn. But the argument is crafted intelligently enough to turn to praise. He turns the spotlight on his lover, and he tells her that her soul is evergreen, always in season. Very nice metaphor.
Baby, your smile's forever in my mind and memory.
Okay, so more praise and a nice way to put that heavy stuff about growing old and memory fading in a positive light. He might grow old, his memory might fade, the crowds might forget him, but her smile is forever in his mind and in his memory. We are brimming with pathos.
Woo. And I'm thinking about how people fall in love in mysterious ways. Maybe it's all part of a plan.
Again, we know this is an expression of thought. He keeps tagging back to that to remind us that this is authentic. And now he suggests that perhaps love is a part of a plan. He invokes this notion of fate and of destiny, which really just continues to bolster his pathos.
Well, I'll continue making the same mistakes, hoping that you'll understand.
Okay, so this feels a bit random. He says he'll just keep on making the same mistakes, and we don't really know what he's talking about here. What mistakes? Perhaps this is something strictly between the two of them, but again, he seems to be coming clean here, and in putting himself out there and voicing his weaknesses, he makes himself vulnerable, and in making himself vulnerable, he makes his argument stronger. It's very funny how that works there.
The baby now, woo, take me into your loving arms.
Remember to check out teachargument.com, grab the corresponding lessons and plans, and keep breathing new life into your English classroom.